Well, any last childhood innocence that was still left inside of me was just snatched away by Walter Payton. From my own doing, unfortunately. And for those of you that somehow don't know who Walter Payton is, he was the best NFL running back to ever live, probably until Barry Sanders or Saquon Barkley came around. He held virtually every single NFL rushing record, and, well, unfortunately, I was an 80s kid who grew up in Chicago, so I looked up to him a lot. And well, the other day, one of my amazing all star subscribers named Jeff, who's actually what a true hero looks like. He's lost 200 pounds and quit addiction and is a true hero compared to what I'm going to show you that Walter Payton isn't. But let's get back to the story. He asked me if I've ever looked into Luther Vandross, who died at a relatively young age of 54. And, well, I looked at him and I couldn't help but recognize him. And I did almost right away. And well, you might not know this about Walter Payton, but he also died at a young age from cancer. And he died on November 1st, 1999. It's funny how just a little bit of manipulation and November 1st, 1999 can look like that. And well, we know how they like their 911. And well, back to them looking alike. Walter got sick and he got skinny and he had a certain look about him, a certain look that transferred very well to what Luther looked like around the time of his death. And while Luther shows all the signs of the black and white and the arms crossed of being part of the club, but I thought, no way would Walter show those signs. Not my childhood hero who could leap as tall as buildings to score touchdowns. Yep. That's Walter. That's Luther. That's Walter. That's Luther. Hey, they even have the same style and sweater. Walter and Luther, Luther and Walter. But of course, up until this point, it's just speculation. But I'm going to let them do some moving and talking for themselves, and then we'll get to what you know I always have, because I don't speculate. First, let me show you that Walter was a great dancer and musician. This is him doing some dancing on the show Soul Train. And in a second, I'm going to show you his musical skills and not just on the Super Bowl Shuffle. Seems he has a real passion for music. Here's him singing as well.
Guys do behind closed doors, in the bathroom when nobody's there.
A movie with Bette Midler and Danny DeVito called Ruthless People, and it's the first single off of the album.
Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like making more mans. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shot.
Now, before I continue, I want to show you two things. One, there was a biography written about Walter Payton, and it says, what an eye-opener. Funny how they reference the eye. And they also talk about his personal demons and how he wasn't a very good spouse. So it paints a picture of someone that isn't that hero that a lot of people think he is. But I got something else to show you too. What I want to show you, based on a request from another friend and subscriber, Jeff, is that the symmetry of faces is really quite unique. They don't match up. And this is Emmitt Smith. I chose him because he's another really popular NFL running back. Faces don't match up unless they're the same. There's going to be something off. Lips, nose, chin, eye, they don't match unless they're the same. And we saw how Emmitt and Luther matched up. Why don't we look at how Walter and Luther match up? I think Jim Carrey once said, like a glove. But we still haven't gotten to the utmost important part. And I need to show you, again, something first. And that is that the odds of two people having the exact same 8 birthmarks are considered astronomically low, essentially close to impossible. And well, why don't I just count these for you in case you lose track? 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 3. But remember, I said 8. Luther and Walter. And well, we're at 3, so there's 4 and 4. And these look like holes because they probably dug them out so you wouldn't notice. 5 and 5. And again, let's see who they belong to. Oh, Walter and Luther. And remember, I promised 8. So let's look for 8. We're at 5. 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. What a shocker. Walter, Luther, and Walter. Now, I am 1000% sure of one thing. I am going to get a lot of hate for this because this man is about as untouchable as you get as far as heroes go. He's pretty much unblemished. Well, until I came around. And you see, that's what they want. They want you looking up to these celebrities and these athletes and these musicians and worshiping them instead of the one entity in this entire realm that you should be worshiping. It's the Heavenly Father. Because they tell you right in plain sight who they're about. And that, you should look up Revelation 9:11 of the Bible. You might get a little bit more insight to why they like that number. But as always, I'm just a satirical humor account, and I'm just here to entertain you with nonsensical lies. And I mean, the fact that their faces are perfectly symmetrical, obviously a coincidence. And so they have the exact same 3 dots right next to their identical mustache, and then another 2 birthmarks and another 3 birthmarks. So what? You saw the odds? Astronomically impossible. Just a coincidence, I'm sure. Just like it's a coincidence they like the same type of sweaters. And Walter loving to do things like singing, dancing, and playing the drums behind closed doors. Again, total coincidence.
Guys do behind closed doors. You know,
And I just can't believe how many coincidences there are, and this one just happened to ruin my inner child. Entertainment only.